This is Damian Irvine after Aldershot 3, Ebbsfleet 3. Great performance, but it wasn't enough, and the club are relegated. A few more games remaining of the season. What are your immediate thoughts? Because you've worked as hard as anybody to keep the club in the division. It's been tough this season, but here we are. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, look, today's. I think there's been a sense of inevitability about it, hasn't there, for the last month or two. Ultimately, Chaz, and we've said it before. We didn't do a good enough job in the summertime, didn't start the season well enough, and the changes we made from a managerial point of view didn't get the bounce and the change that was required, and here we are. So first and foremost, my thoughts are with the supporters. I think they've been brilliant all season, and even knowing probably that our fate was on the way, they've been ever so strong and good and supportive for the last few months again. So that's our initial thoughts. Yeah, it's very easy to say that we'll go again in summertime. Of course we will. But at the moment, today, yeah, it was a good performance. It was away. But ultimately, we've fallen short as a club. As I've said before, we're not being better than 80% of the other clubs that have been promoted into this division for the last two seasons. And we'll be back bigger and better.
What's been interesting for me to observe is how the fans have stuck with Josh Wright since he was appointed. They don't seem to blame Josh for the position the club is in, and they seem to understand and respect what he's doing.
Yeah, I think our supporters are pretty savvy, and they've seen a lot of football. They've seen a lot of Ebbsfleet United football, and they get here in numbers home and away, and they watch closely. And I think it's perceptive you say that, Chaz, because the last, since Josh has been in situ, but the recognition and appreciation from those fans at games for performances, some draws, some losses, some wins, has been genuine. There's been one or two amongst them in performances that they haven't seen what they wanted to see and let us know. But ultimately, with Josh there, the majority of the time, and what the squad have been doing, they can see the steps, they can see the change from prior to Christmas until now, and that's what you can ask for. You can ask for progress and rectifying of errors and mistakes of the past, and I think that's right what you say.
You've signed George Moncur and Josh Passley. You've had a chance to have a look at players before signing them. Yeah,
and I think you're always looking for next season, regardless of your position in the table. We've been able to have one eye on the probability, I think, since Christmas that a relegation was on the table. So that it's bought us time. It's bought us time on the training pitch for Josh and the staff with those players. And look, early days, but the recruitment so far for next season has been strong and positive.
I've also got to ask you about retention, because that's also part of the recruitment process of players moving on, and presumably there will be a number of faces moving on as well as part of that process.
Always a tough thing in football, but having said that, there's no one at this football club that hasn't had ample opportunity to stamp themselves on a shirt or a position next year, and I think that's all anyone can ask. And not only while we're alive this season, but since we've been chasing and cut adrift, that says a lot about people and character, and it will for the next 7 games as well. So those decisions will be made based on demonstrable results and what people have had every opportunity to deliver for this football club or not. And it'll be tough, but it's also it's a closed season where we don't have, I guess, the baggage of a championship season, which we did in year 1 in this division, and we don't have the baggage of staying up late last season, and so it's a clean slate for everyone, and I mean that it's a blank canvas. And so what people have been able to deliver, whether that be through fitness, attitude, form, all of those things, everyone's had ample opportunity, so those will be decisions being made.
So finally, is it fair to say that starting tomorrow is it work for next season? Its pre-season starts now?
No, I think it already has been. I think post-Christmas in any season, as I said, it's always in play. But do you know what? I'd almost be disappointed if now that our fate is sealed, if a confidence or freedom or a devil-may-care attitude was put in place, or people chose to take that approach. I'd almost be disappointed, because we've had a lot of games of football this season to display that and that confidence and being front-footed and not being negative. But for a number of different reasons, individually or as a group, that hasn't happened at times enough, in my opinion, and I think the management's opinion as well. So, no, it's nothing much is going to change from the last few weeks. I know Josh has set up all the time to win. There's always a temptation to throw left field selections in or mix things up and promote players potentially before they're ready. But Ebbsfleet United and those supporters deserve the management and team to go in that as strongly as they possibly can every week, and that'll keep being the case.
Well, good luck with what remains of this season and going into next season.
Thanks, Chaz. Appreciate it.
Thanks.